Good afternoon, family. My name is Tariq, and I'm here to speak on Conscious Products. Conscious Products, we started in Jersey City, New Jersey, and we've been doing this for about 10 years, nonprofit, helping the people, giving dietary consultation, shopping consultation, and exercise adjustment programs. We've been doing this, like I said, nonprofit for about 10 years, and we just made and went into LLC about 3 months ago. My reason for gravitating towards the holistic lifestyle, or so to speak, becoming health conscious, is it goes back a long time. So for me, my family, they practiced this lifestyle for a while, but growing up as a child, seeing the things that was implemented around me, I gravitated towards things that my friends were doing as far as candy and chips and snacks and stuff like that. But I grew up and I suffered with asthma. So there was always things that I had to reach to and do besides take the steroid approach for asthma. And, it's easy to take a pump as a kid, but for being disciplined and using herbs and doing things like that, it's kind of, it gives a child focus, and it gives them need, because they have to realize, that there's more than one way to heal or cure a situation. And you have to always have more than one thing in your arsenal to be able to be prepared for certain things. So it's the same thing holistically when you're dealing with your personal health. So I learned that early on, and my father was my primary influence with dealing with health. I used to see him taking a lot of raw garlic, cayenne, turmeric. These are things that I just seen him do. And then one thing that, even if I never seen him continuously practice the garlic and the cayenne things, taking those things medicinally always, I used to always see him use it on his food. As far as every meal that he ate, he always used cayenne. So no matter what he was doing personally in his life, if he was living up or down, drinking, or whatever they were doing, he always had one thing that was riding, so to speak, like a stealth bomber, under the radar the whole time. So it was always giving him a backbone. But then once I got into doing things in life, I always wanted to have a sense of security myself. So no matter if I was smoking or drinking or doing anything that wasn't right, I always had something that was flying, like a stealth bomber for protection. And those were some of the things I started to. I have one instance that I can remember. I went away for a camp when I was in high school, and we were using equipment at the camp that was being used by other teams that would go to this camp over a period of time. So I don't think it was being properly sterilized and things like that. So the helmets that we were all using, I didn't know any better. We all were putting them on our faces. And I was there for like 2 weeks. When I came back, I broke out with a rash all over my face. But it was it was a rash that the dermatologist, they gave me 3 or 4 different types of creams to fix the situation, and nothing was working. So I was going to school. It looked something like vitiligo. It was a discoloration in my skin. So, of course, being in high school, that's kind of depressing. You don't want to go to school looking other than yourself. So my father, he seen me suffering with that, and he took me to a herbologist in New York. And they gave me a vibration reading, where they check your pulse, they listen to your heartbeat, they listen to your circadian rhythm. They capture it in certain ways. This is a practice you can look into. And based upon that diagnosis, they gave me a combination of herbs. They told me to boil them for 7 days, and this, that, and the third. It was a certain way I had to take them. Upon doing that, the taste was just unbearable. I couldn't even get it down. That was the first time I ever tasted something like that. So they said to take it for 7 days. I think I took it for 2 days, and then I didn't want to take it no more. And I was like, I don't care. It was so nasty. I was telling my father, listen, me and him got into an argument. He was like, listen, I took you there to get these herbs to heal you, and you got the whole picture back there. We're supposed to be taking it a certain way, and you're not taking it. So we got into this big thing. So he finally let off of it. But just with those 2 or 3 days that I took it, the rash went completely away. And I was already trying to heal it through the dermatologist for 2 months after this. Through different types of creams and things that you was putting topically on your skin. But when I took the herbs, and whatever that fungus was that was on inside of my skin, the herbs purged it out. So, and that was something that I didn't even gravitate towards using the herbs at that point. But later on, reflecting back on all of these things, and I realized, the herbs, they have a value. So what made me start to gravitate towards living this lifestyle holistically on a daily basis and practicing it was, like I said, it was always things that I was doing in my lifestyle that was always there. I was taking the cayenne, I started to incorporate the garlic, and I would take male performance herbs, for different things, for sexual activity, for physical energy, just to be, have all of the thriving force that a man is supposed to have during those ages. And the reason why I was seeking these things was because I was suffering from adrenal fatigue. And adrenal fatigue is when you throw your circadian rhythm and your biological clock off because of different things you're doing. Your hormones are producing, it's shooting rapidly for a particular reason. It can be because you're working at night. It can be because you're overloading on nicotine or caffeine. It could be you're practicing too much sex. These things, too much stress on the adrenal glands is what produces the energy. So for my particular reason that I was suffering from adrenal fatigue was because for 6 years I was working at night. So I had got used to being up at night, eating differently. I was eating at night. I started to put on weight because I was driving. So those things pushed me to a situation where I was trying to find a cure for it. But it's like extreme fatigue. So when you're extremely fatigued, you think that the basics can do it, like coffee, or sleeping extra. And those things kind of throw it into overdrive. So it puts you in a position where you feel like you're going insane because there's no real way to test and find out exactly what it is. So it's something that you have to become in tune with yourself to understand. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people in life dug down this path to try to figure out what exactly was going on with them. And when they can't pick it up with the equipment in the hospital, then they give you a pill and they diagnose you with a mental situation. So if you can't figure it out yourself, then they'll give you something, they'll figure it out for you. But luckily, I figured out what my situation was. So that right there, coupled with the fact that my mother, growing up, she cooked every night. So it was always a situation where we was finding ourselves wondering what was to eat, getting tired of repeating the same meals, So you start to look up different recipes when you're thinking inside one paradigm of eating. And everything that you look in this world of the type of lifestyle that you're practicing as far as dietarily, you exhaust it. It's just a bunch of repeating them and mixing and matching them and doing that. So it's basically the same foods that you're just whipping up different ways, and they're all destructive to the body. So once exhausting those things, I moved into different meals, and I looked into pescatarian meals and looked into vegetarian meals. And then when you start to study these meals and to see what the best forms of these meals are, you see that the greats who practice these lifestyles, who laid the road down a long time ago. The first book that I got into that taught me anything about diet was How to Eat to Live by Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that was just a basic thing to say that even though you're having these cravings for food and you don't know what to eat, it's because sometimes you're just eating too much. All of those meals, when you're having different meals every day, you're having 2 different meals 7 days a week, that's 14 meal variations. You can spread that out, skip a day. Don't eat for one day. Fast. Eat 1 meal one day. And if you was to spread those 14 meals out, then you would have a 2-week span where you had different variations of food. It's because you're overloading the body with things that you're not supposed to be having. So dealing with adrenal fatigue and trying to figure out every night, what am I going to eat? Those are the 2 things that the road led me down. Like I said, I always had this underlying foundation growing up. So just those things, and the universe put them all together. And this is where I'm at right now. For me, with trying to convince people in my circle and my family to buy the product, nobody in my immediate circle is going to support that way, because I've been giving herbs away for free for so long. They're like, man, you've been doing this for 10, 15 years. And I got people that support me in my circle. I'm not going to say that they haven't. But, when you're giving it away to your friends and family so long, and then the next time they come for one, you say, listen, it's 55 now, it's 60 for that now. They're like, oh, what are you talking about? So it's good and bad. But my advice to someone that's trying to get their family to eat healthier is to try to incorporate it themselves first. To try to cook for them. If you can't cook for someone, or you can't explain to them how to use the proper flours, use the proper oils, what type of foods to cook to get what type of purpose and benefit from it, then it's going to be irrelevant for you to even try to attempt that. That's my personal opinion, because you have to show it through taste. Eating healthy is always associated with it's not going to taste right. So for the average person who's not eating consciously, they'll think that it's going to be something uncomfortable to the taste buds. So you have to give it to them, present them some type of foods that taste good, and know the person. Don't give them something that is extremely beneficial for them, but the taste is off for their first experience. Pamper them, get on the lighter side of things. Give them a healthy treat at first, and then gravitate towards moving into the meal. See what they eat, and then try to find a healthy, tasty alternative and present it to them. And then from that point, you can open the doors for other things. Then you have a certain group of people who they have to suffer through things before they'll experience it. So you may find someone on, one knee, and then that may be the time where you can get to them. Their ears will be open for change. Say, listen, you should try this. Why don't you give this a chance? Everything that you swung at, you struck out at. So maybe this will work. And the person logically, or if they think and care anything about life, they'll give it a chance. So over time, I've helped a lot of people deal with high blood pressure, balancing their glucose levels, sugar, weight loss, adrenal fatigue, anxiety, some forms of depression. What else have I helped with? Deep breathing, increasing energy, menopause, and ADD, acne. These are things that I've helped people try to get control of in their life, because some of the things you may always battle throughout life, like a doctor told me about adrenal fatigue, and she said the little monster is always going to pop out sometimes, where you're going to have some type of feeling where you're extremely tired, or whatever you're going through. You may see signs of it, but you can keep it under control. And ultimately, if it's not there, you can get rid of it. So meaning that if you feel healthy, like we was just speaking earlier, you may not see any signs of whatever you have, and it may not be transmittable. So it's way better to live your life with something under control than for it to be wreaking havoc in your life every day. And that's for anything that you're going through. So, those are the things. Constipation is number one. That was the first thing I started to help people do, was to deal with constipation. So I used to make colon cleaners for people, and they would take them and flush out, and they would let them. The main thing you have to know about any herb that you're taking, the herb is a plant, so it has life form to it. There's a life force in these herbs. So when you're using a particular herb, you have to become intimate with it and find out the purpose that you have for it. So for me, dealing with asthma, that I have asthma, is something that is really hard to get rid of, but you can put it in remission, and you can reverse it by decreasing the amount of inflammation you put in the body. So it may not have a direct effect. You may think something that you eat may not have a direct effect on your lungs, but overall it's creating inflammation in the body. And that's what anything that you eat for whatever particular situation you have going on in you. The food that you eat, the inflammation is going to run straight towards your sickness, and it's going to magnify it. For me, having asthma, the herb that I'm most intimate with is mullein. Mullein, it works for your lungs. So for me, for the rest of my life, I have to constantly be in touch with this mullein, unless they come out with some type of pharmaceutical grade drug that you can take a pill and it's completely gone. But some things that you're born with, or some things that you have, you'll constantly struggle with them throughout your life, but the herbs can help you put them under control. So if you're a person that high blood pressure runs in your family, then you should become intimate with hawthorn and hibiscus. And the amount of time someone that will ask you, well, how long do I take this? It's like, how long are you going to eat pasta? How long are you going to eat rice? How long do you plan on drinking apple juice or eating oranges? It's not a question. It's about a practice and a lifestyle. It's not a bottle where you get 30 servings and then it's over. So the products that I have, they're usually just an introduction to someone to start taking these herbs and to find your own path eventually. Hibiscus, chamomile, catnip, these things control the nervous system, and they relax the adrenal gland so that it's not producing cortisol and the body's blood pressure doesn't rise. So when you have these things constantly in your life, then you can control your high blood pressure or control your cardiovascular issues. If you're a person that deals with depression or anxiety, then you have to have catnip, chamomile, and valerian root. These things are something that you have to have for the rest of your life. Or if you want to choose the pharmaceutical grade and take a Xanax, then that's your choice. But the herbs, they make you feel totally different. They make you feel normal. They make you feel like yourself. So it just it just balances you off. It doesn't push you past where you need to be. That's the difference with a drug. When you take the drug to calm down, it's going to get you high. It's going to take you to normal state and then past that. And the herbs don't do that. They just balance the body off. And it's really hard to overdose on a lot of these herbs. Unlike drugs, you can overdose quickly. See, for me, it's that whole topic to say which type of diet any person should be on is BS to me, to be honest with you. I feel like every person should have a particular way that they choose to eat because of any reason, their lifestyle. Whatever particular needs their lifestyle calls for, this is what they should be doing. So you can't say that you're on this type of diet, a keto diet, the Atkins diet. Any diet, like I have a trainer that I'm always around, he says any diet with a name on it is bullshit. So you don't never want to have a diet with a name. You want to make your own diet and do what's best for you. So, but there's things that automatically you're not going to put on your diet. It's not because you feel like eating pork is beneficial. That's going to be off for everyone's diet. But when it gets down into the cleaner you are, then you start to find out all of the things that you can do without. Like if you was a vegan and you wanted to really get your vegan diet on point, then you would try to become an alkaline vegan. You know, you would stop eating the soy and then you would switch towards things that are completely alkaline. To me, that would be like the best form of eating on this planet. If you was to be a vegetarian and you were to go vegan, alkaline vegan, that's the top of the line. You're not eating no animal flesh. All of the vegetables that you are consuming have a pH balance of above 7. So it's constantly giving the body alkalinity, and diseases and illnesses don't thrive in an alkaline state. They thrive in acidic states. So if you're eating things that's all alkaline, then that would be, quote unquote, the best diet to have, in my opinion. But for a particular reason, if you choose to eat meat, then you have to make sure that whatever type of meat you're eating, if you're eating red meat, then you got to be a person that's using a lot of garlic, a lot of cloves, a lot of cayenne, a lot of hawthorn, a lot of hibiscus, because red meat puts a strain on the heart. And you're going to be taking things for the kidneys because a lot of protein clogs the kidneys. If you're a person especially African American or Caucasian women, if you're a person that like to eat a lot of chicken, then you want to take things like black cohosh, wild yam, and things to help with the uterus, because too much protein from the chicken and too many hormones that they inject inside of the chicken, it causes yeast infection, it causes fibroids. So these are the things that you want to stay away from. Your diet should be geared towards, whatever you're doing. And the more the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the less herbs you particularly have to use. But the more meat that you're consuming, then the more herbs you have to use. This is the main purpose of you seasoning your food. When you season your food, you're supposed to season your food the night before so that the herbs are killing whatever fungus or bacteria is on the food, because it's always going to have a parasite in it. It's just part of what your DNA is made of. So there's really no way around that, but you want to try to get the food in the best state that you can get it in. But if you're not doing any type of real strenuous activity, or you don't have any hard, stressful, physical demanding jobs, then you don't want to consume a lot of food. It's like filling the car up and driving nowhere. And that's how I would, live my life. If you're a person that's working construction, then you may need to eat more meat than a person who was sitting at a desk typing all day. That person that's sitting at a desk, quote unquote, has a better chance of eating vegetables all day than a person who's not used to it and is working hard labor. So, study everything and figure out what's best for you. But you want to stay away from soy, you want to stay away from pork, you want to stay away from corn. These are the things that you just want to stay away from 100%, no matter what diet you're on. No corn oil, no canola oil, no vegetable oil. If you're going to use olive oil or coconut oil, you want to make sure it's cold and not fried and not used to cook with, because they have a smoking point that is lower than oils that you can typically cook food with that get hotter. Like you can use peanut oil to fry a turkey, but if you use regular vegetable oil to peanut oil will burn faster than the turkey will cook. So you want to use oils that have a higher smoking point. Peanut oil is not nothing I'm recommending, just giving it a point. But the best oil to use would be probably grapeseed oil because it's good for your heart. You know, they always say a glass of wine is good for your heart because it has the grapes in it. It's the same thing when it comes to dealing with grapeseed oil to cook with. You want to use grapeseed oil to cook with. And these small things, you could create your own diet. You know, it's not really when you try to, live a certain way and it's not according to how you really sincerely feel or what you want to do in life, then it never comes out successful. So know about what you're trying to venture off into and try to find the cleanest form of that. My advice for anybody, that's been tuning in so far, if you're thinking about getting in shape, if you're thinking about eating cleaner, eating healthier, what you should do is start right away. Whatever you know that's in your immediate circle, in your household, in your kitchen, in your cabinet, and 100% is not supposed to be there, take the initiative and go throw it out. Because that's the first step to anybody. When you're in the intimacy of yourself, what can you do with those small decisions? So make that small decision. Throw some things out that shouldn't even be in your house. And then, wherever you are in the country, see what's around you where you can start to get some type of activity. Most people, the main thing they need to do is to become active. This is why in school, even as children, we take physical education because you got to stay active. Even though you're moving throughout the day, you still need a specific amount of time for activity. So being active in that manner is a good step towards getting healthier. And if you're already active, there's a lot of people like that too. You're extremely active, you have beautiful bodies, but you eat like crap. So the inside is dead. So you may feel because you look in the mirror and you see the perfect body that, you can continue to eat these death-forming habits. So that's what I would do for a person like that, is to, start reversing it. If your food is trash, what you should do is start juicing. That's the easiest way to start getting a lot of greens into the body and to start chopping down some of the buildup inside the body. Because you get the buildup in the colon, right? And if whatever buildup is in the colon, the body is mimicking that same thing inside the heart, is mimicking the same thing in the kidney, is mimicking the same thing inside your joints. Your neck is filled with all types of candida, yeast. People is building up all over. So no matter what you're doing, you can cut down with it. So that's for the people who are in shape and eating bad, and you got the people who are not in shape and are eating bad. So you have two different alternatives right there for these type of people to reach out to. I named Konscious Products after my daughter. She's 6 years old. I named her Conscious. And about 6 years ago was when I really made the decision to become conscious and live that lifestyle. So I swore on it by naming my daughter that. And this is why the company is named Konscious Products. And my name is Tariq. I'm the CEO. If you want to contact me, you can reach me at 201-824-3837. And I give free 30-minute health consultations. So whatever you're trying to do with your health, send me a text or give me a call and I'll help you get it forward too. And then if you're around in this area, or if you're just looking for any herbal products, you can visit us on IG at Konscious Products with a K. That's KONSCIOUS Products, PRODUCTS LLC. That's basically it. I appreciate you having me on this platform to express my views and ideas. And hopefully you have me back again so we can build other great topics in reference to health and any other things throughout the universe. Peace and blessings.